Have you ever had a mountain of tasks and thought, this can't keep being my everyday? That was me too. I was drowning in admin tasks like adding data manually, sending the same email to our new families, and posting internal reminder messages on a weekly basis. I was tired of feeling chained to these tasks that were needed but didn't move the needle. So I learned to automate them. Hi, my name is Presh, and I started an education startup where we serve 4th grade to college level students who have executive function challenges. Today, I'm going to show you one of the most powerful tools we use to help run our business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an educator who's juggling it all, or a parent curious on how we keep it all together, then this video is for you. We'll talk about what automations are, why they matter, examples that we've built that save us hours every week, and how you can get started too. Let's jump right in. What are automations and why should you care? Automations are systems that take repetitive tasks off your plate. Think of them like digital assistants that run 24/7, that never forget, and that never complain about these repetitive tasks. In our startup, that means less manual data entry, no more forgetting follow-ups, and smoother parent communication. As a result, we can invest that admin time into more meaningful work, like creating lesson plans for our students, building marketing materials for our school partners, and having stronger connections with our families. If you are getting drained by the same admin tasks that are not fully serving your customers, your students, and your families, then this is a sign for you to start automating those admin tasks. So let me go ahead and show you 3 automations that we've built and use in our startup to give you an idea on how you can also save time. In our startup, we provide 60-minute executive function tutoring trial sessions to our new families. Before we connect our new families with the best executive function tutor, we would ask them to fill out a trial form. In that trial form, new families share their child's availability and what they want to get out of the trial session. Before I built this automation, once the form is submitted, what I would do is I would manually copy and paste those responses into our customer relationship management or CRM system. We use a CRM system to better track and manage our interactions with new families. And each submission, it would take me about 5 minutes to copy and paste those responses from Google Form into Streak, which is our CRM system. And if you can imagine, if we have 10 new families that fill out that trial form, it'll take me about an hour of admin time to do that important task. So what I did was I built an automation that will do that admin task for me. What it looked like was whenever the form was submitted, it will take that information and automatically post it in Slack, which is our internal communication tool. And it'll also post it into Streak so that I no longer needed to copy and paste that data. If you have an intake process for your customers, then building out this automation is essential to save you time every day. For our 60-minute executive function tutoring trial sessions, we built another email automation that would be sent 1 day before the trial started to remind the family on what to expect for the trial. Before we built this automation, we ran into the problem of students calling in from their phones, students showing up late, and overall not knowing what to expect for their trial session. So we built an email automation to help solve for that problem. For most of our automations, we use a third-party tool called Zapier. And Zapier, the best way to think about it is it's like the middleman of connecting as many softwares that you're using. And the logic for creating these automations for Zapier is that it needs an event to happen. And once that event happens, it can do a sequence of steps or a sequence of tasks that you need for that automation. If you're catching your customers or families showing up unprepared for your meetings, then it might be worth exploring how you can automate sending those reminder emails. Our next automation is about our summer programs. We used a website builder called WordPress to create landing pages based on a student's grade level. For example, for elementary students, they had specific summer programs that worked for them that were different for our high school students. With these landing pages, when a family scrolls at the very bottom, they can put their contact information if they want to receive more details about the summer programs. They just need to include their name, phone, email, and the program that they're interested in. The automation that I built is once they submitted that short contact form, then they will automatically get an email with more program details, and their info would be added into Streak, which is our CRM system. This automation took 2 admin tasks from us, which is automatically sending the email and adding them into our CRM. Anytime you're collecting contact information, it might be helpful to think about automating what happens next, like sending them an email or adding them to your CRM, just so that it saves you that admin time. Now that you've seen 3 examples on how we automate manual tasks to save us time, let's go ahead and explore how you can build an automation from scratch. Let's go ahead and imagine that you are a tutor or a teacher who wants to automate sending an email to your students who failed an exam. For this example, we are going to connect Google Form and Gmail using Zapier. Here's what that looks like step by step with Zapier.
This is a Google form that when it's submitted, it's going to send an email to this email address field. So here's what that looks like. I'll just put student name as Hannah and then use this email address. Class name is Algebra 2. And the personalization column can just be that one-liner that we send to the student to show just some nicety factors. I'll just say something like, I hope you enjoyed your cross-country meet. And once I click submit, this email took about a minute to land in my inbox. It's from myself. The subject line is, let's review your class name test together. And here you can see the student's first name, the personalization that I put, and then the class where we're saying that, hey, I saw your recent test score, and we just want to let them know it doesn't define them, and we'll figure out what didn't click. We'll do that together. We're letting them know in the next session. We'll go step by step. Anyways, to go ahead and show you how to set up this automation that connects both Google Form and Gmail, you want to go ahead and log into Zapier.com. I'm currently signed in. This is what my homepage looks like. And then the top left, there's a create button. I'm going to go ahead and click Zaps. We have 2 things you can put, a trigger and an action. A trigger is the event you want to happen before these steps underneath happens. So for me, the trigger is when a Google form is submitted. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to search for Google form. If I can spell right, there you go. And I'm going to first choose an account, and I'm going to do my Learn at account right here. The trigger event that I have is new form response, and this means that when the form submit button is clicked, then this event will happen. I click continue, and then I get to choose the form. The form name I created is check-in form. I'm going to click continue. I'm going to go ahead and test the trigger. And what this does is it finds recent data that your Zapier can use to play with. So if I click this, look at the ones that we created from the Google form that has the personalization question, the class name, email address, student name. So this is pulling from the one that I just recently submitted. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go to Gmail. And the next step I'm going to do here is just go to my account. It's coming from my precious @email. The action event is I want to send email. So I'm going to click send email, click continue. And here I have a few different options to choose from. So let me zoom in here. So the to field, I want it to go to whoever is in the email address field. So what I did was I put / to be able to pull this dynamic data. Dynamic data just means we're pulling from data points from whatever our trigger or actions are. So here I'm going to pull from Google Forms, and then I'm just searching for the email address that I inputted. So it's going to be the email address field in Google Forms. So I'm going to click that. And then it says send message to Google contacts / groups or label false. I don't need to CC. I don't need to BCC from. I'm just going to say it's this email. And then the name, I just want to say from my nickname, Prush. Reply to, I want my email to go to this, where if they respond, to go to this email address. But if in your case you want a different address that they reply to, you can input that in here. The subject that I think I had was, let's review your, I'm just gonna put that here. Subject, let's review, and I'm gonna change algebra 2. We're gonna change this to / again to pull that data of class name. So now what this is saying is, let's review all your algebra 2 test together. And sometimes when you put these dynamic subjects, I call them variables, just gotta keep an eye out that there's an extra space between the variable and the words you're putting. And then the body type, I'm just gonna do plain to keep it simple. And what I'll do is I'll just copy that email here and paste it into the body. And now I'm just going to remove the static information that I want to be dynamic for all of my emails. So for example, this Hannah, I want it to be the student name that I have from Google Form. This was the personalization, so I'm gonna do the personalization. Oops, I'll just do / and I need to search here personalization. And then I saw your recent algebra 2 test. So this one needs to be algebra. So I just type in the data, or again, I can put the Google Form name. I'm just checking my spacing, just a random / there. And then just gonna do some quick formatting that didn't get copied accurately. And I think that's it in terms of the data I need to change. Add signature default. If you have one in your email, you can do that. I'm just gonna omit it. I don't have any attachments, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click continue. And what I'll do next is I'll just do test step, which will then send that message to Gmail. Whenever you do test step, definitely double check the email that you're sending it to. Because I'm sending it to one of my emails, it's totally fine. And here's what it would look like now. If I go to my inbox, you can see the class name variable got pulled into the subject. The first name got changed. The personalization got changed as well. And then the algebra 2 also got dynamically included there. And once I'm done with that zap, the next thing I'll do is just change the name. I'll name this check-in form to email like this, and then I'll click publish. It's saying it's preparing to go live. And now that it's live, it means that every time I submit another response, I put the student name. Let's actually just demo this. Let's do a different name. Let's just say Gabby, same email address, since we're just doing testing data. Let's now say it's from biology. And the personalization we're gonna put is, I hope you had a great weekend. Click submit. And then I'll just wait it out in this email. So here it is, click this. You can see class name changed, student name changed, personalization changed, class name also changed there. So to summarize, I think when creating these automations, the first thing that's really helpful for you is to think about what is that trigger that I want to happen, and once that event happens, what are the next steps that I want? And the best way to think about what that automation can look like is to think about what are the things you keep doing every day over and over and over and over again, and is there a process to that? If there's a process, there might be a way to use a third-party tool like Zapier to automate it and save you time.
With this automation, you can reuse that Google form for any future assessments that your students don't do well on. And instead of having to manually create those emails, you now have a system to automate those emails. And as a result, you can reinvest that admin time into hosting office hours, creating lesson plans, connecting with your students' parents, and other meaningful activities that really drive the needle forward. With that, if you're a teacher, tutor, small business owner, or someone who's tired of doing the same 10 things over and over again, then building automations can give you your time back. And time, especially in the education industry, is everything. If you've enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out my next one where I share tips on how students can use AI to study smarter, not harder, for their upcoming exams. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace!